Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, my second favorite Marvel movie. Because it's actually made by someone who knows what they're doing, and it's actually emotional and actually earns the emotions it gets, and the score is good and the music's good, and it's a pretty good movie. It has some issues though, but I still love this movie. So this movie, I think the best thing about this film is the way it just goes straight for, hey, we're a perfect continuation of the first movie. Because in the first movie, you meet all these characters. They're all kind of douchebags. They're not nice people, but it's because of the way that they were raised and how they were kind of treated, and they've kind of learned and become a family by the end of the first movie. But obviously, that's not all it takes. They still need to grow more, and so you see a lot of them. Rocket has his tendencies to be a douchebag and steal things and just treat other people like crap because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't really know how to show he cares about people. And then we have Quill and Gamora with their will they won't they kind of thing. But you see how these characters grow. Kurt Russell is great as the villain within this movie. He does a fantastic job, and he's one of the few Marvel villains I can say is actually great, besides like Thanos, obviously. But it's just great to see these characters do what they do in this movie. And it's just the main issue with this movie is the pacing. All the stuff that's good about the first movie, the characters, the music tying into the story and matching up lyrically is fantastic. But the main issue with this movie is the pacing. I'm really engaged through parts of it. I'm really engaged not through other parts of it. And some of it just need to be cut out. These gold people should have been cut out. They did not need to be in this movie. But they were in this movie, and they were taking up too much of the movie. They weren't interesting, and they were boring as sin, and I hated watching them, but they just took up so much of the movie. It was awful. And I don't know, I feel like they were setting up something at the end of the credits with them, but it's like, okay, cool, you're setting up something, but if it doesn't make the movie better, or if it actually hurts the movie, cut it out. It does not need to be here. I think the movie just went on a little too long. But besides that, this movie is colorful. The cinematography is immaculate. It's beautiful. Just so many great effects here. Just the way the movie opens is fantastic. Just there's so much good about this movie. And it's one of the only Marvel movies to ever make me cry. Like, this movie does a great job, especially with what it does with the character of Yondu and stuff like that. Great movie. This is one of the few Marvel movies I can actually say is great. I mean, but aside from the pacing issues and some of the jokes just not being that good and being kind of cringy, but for the most part, the humor works, and it's just a great movie all around. I definitely think that if you are a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, this is the best movie, I would say. I think some people have some issues with kind of how, like, the first movie, why they were so great is that they were all together. Well, this movie kind of splits them up a little bit. I think it works because it develops the characters more, but I can kind of see that complaint sometimes. Sometimes it just didn't work, but other times it worked out really well. So, yeah. Great